Russian drone breaches NATO airspace. NATO scrambles jets as Russian drone breaches Romanian airspace. NATO was forced into action on Sunday after a Russian military drone entered Romanian airspace, prompting alliance warplanes from Romania and Poland to scramble in response to what is being described as another Kremlin test of Europe's resolve. Now let's uncover the details of this story on the AI podcast.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're the show that takes your source material and really tries to boil it down to what matters most. We want you to walk away informed, maybe even a bit surprised. And this week, wow, if you've been keeping an eye on the headlines from Europe, it's hard not to feel a bit of a chill, isn't it? It really does feel like we're watching some kind of geopolitical thriller playing out, just a whole series of intense rapid-fire events. Things seem to be escalating significantly.
They really do.
So today we're diving deep into these recent incidents. The core idea, coming straight from our source material, is to figure out why these events suggest a, quote, dangerous widening of the conflict.
Right.
We've got a key source article titled Escalation, NATO Scrambles as Ukraine Strikes Russia Deeply, plus some related reports. We're going to guide you through what seems most important in this very complex, very volatile situation.
Absolutely. Our mission here is to get past just the headlines and really unpack what's going on, based purely on the information in front of us. We're talking airspace breaches, these concerning long-range strikes, and even Russia's nuclear signaling.
Right.
We'll sift through it all to help you connect the dots and understand the gravity of it.
All right, let's unpack this then. Starting with something that really jumped out, a direct challenge, it seems, to NATO's own borders. Our source highlights this pretty alarming incident. A Russian military drone entering Romanian airspace. On a Sunday, no less.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a fleeting moment, it actually caused NATO warplanes to scramble.
That's right.
Looking at the specifics here, the Romanian Defense Ministry, they tracked this drone. It was about 12 miles southwest of Chileaveș, which is very close to the River Danube border.
Very good, close.
Now, Romanian officials, they sort of downplayed the immediate risk to people on the ground, but then Ukraine came out with a claim that really changes the perspective, doesn't it?
It does. Kyiv said this drone didn't just cross the border, it loitered. Hung around in NATO airspace for nearly 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
And they called it a deliberate escalation. Coming from Ukraine, that framing is significant.
Definitely. And this wasn't just a one-off event, which is critical here.
Exactly. That's the key point. The intrusion set off air raid sirens in the area, and then Warsaw, Poland, announced that their jets, along with Allied jets, were also mobilized.
Okay.
Why? Because of Russian drones operating near Ukraine's border regions again. And crucially, this happened just a week after another major Russian drone incursion into Polish airspace.
So a pattern is emerging.
The source really emphasizes that. It looks like a consistent, maybe deliberate probing of NATO's reactions, testing response times. These probably aren't just accidents.
Right. It feels like calculated tests. So how did NATO actually respond in the Romanian case?
Well, the source says the response was immediate. 2 Romanian F-16 scrambled from the 86th Air Base in Fătăiași.
F-16s, okay.
And here's the timing context. This happened while Russia was also attacking Ukrainian ports, right there along the Danube River.
So it's happening concurrently. A lot of pressure in one small area.
Exactly. And what's fascinating, or maybe worrying, here's how these drone incidents directly challenge NATO. It's not just a flyby. The repetition, the claimed loitering time, it really raises questions.
Like, what message are they trying to send?
Precisely. What is Russia signaling by testing the alliance airspace like this? Are they trying to, normalize these kinds of things, desensitize NATO? Or are they checking reactions before maybe pushing things further? The source suggests it's a deliberate strategy, maybe trying to blur the lines.
Blurring the red lines. Okay, well, if those drone incidents weren't enough to highlight the tension, the source points to something else running in parallel, something, frankly, even more concerning. It seems Russia isn't just probing borders physically. They're making a much bigger show of force. We're talking about the deployment of Iskander-M missile systems.
Yes. Short-range ballistic missiles.
And the location is key, isn't it? They've moved them into Kaliningrad.
Right. That Russian enclave nestled between Poland and Lithuania, very close to Poland's border.
That feels incredibly pointed.
It absolutely is. And the Iskander-M, what makes it so concerning is its capability.
Which is?
It's dual capable. Yeah. It can carry conventional warheads, sure, but also nuclear ones.
Nuclear?
Yeah. And we're talking yields of 10 to 50 kilotons. For comparison, that's in the ballpark of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs.
Okay, that puts it in perspective. And the range.
Over 310 miles. That puts major European capitals like Warsaw, Vilnius, Riga, Tallinn, even Berlin within reach.
Berlin, wow. So this isn't just symbolic power projection.
No, it's demonstrating a very real, very devastating potential reach, explicitly.
And this deployment isn't happening in a vacuum either. It's tied to those Zapad 2025 military drills, right?
Yeah, correct. The Zapad exercises are Russia's large-scale drills, often simulating war scenarios against the West. So deploying these systems during or alongside those drills adds quite a bit of weight to the message. Preparedness, intent, it's all there.
And there's more.
There is. The source also mentions Russia launching a Zircon hypersonic missile. This was from the warship Admiral Golovko up in the Barents Sea.
Hypersonic, that means incredibly fast, hard to intercept.
Exactly. Mach 5 plus speeds. Very difficult to track, let alone shoot down with current defenses. So if you connect the dots, the Iskanders in Kaliningrad, the Zapad drills, this hypersonic launch.
It's a package deal?
It seems like it. It looks like a coordinated multi-pronged display of military might. It's designed to challenge the West's resolve, its deterrence, across different domains all at once. A very clear strategic signal, you could say.
A signal of willingness to escalate.
Undeniably.
Okay, so while Moscow is flexing its muscles and probing NATO, Ukraine hasn't been sitting idle. Kyiv's response has been pretty potent, too, striking deep inside Russia.
Yes. The source calls it a dramatic escalation of its long-range strike campaign. They're hitting strategic targets far from the front lines.
This isn't just tactical anymore.
No, this is strategic, aimed at Russia's ability to sustain the war.
And the prime example given is this massive strike on the Metafrax chemicals plant. Where was this?
In Gubaka, in the Perm region.
Perm. That's deep inside Russia. How far are we talking?
Over 1,000 miles from Ukrainian territory.
1,000 miles. That's incredible reach. And the reports mentioned huge explosions, fires.
Yes, and the significance of Metafrax. It's not just any chemical plant.
What does it make?
According to the source, it produces critical chemical precursors for high explosives, things like PTN and RDX.
Ah, essential stuff for making munitions.
Absolutely essential for the Russian military. So hitting this plant is a direct blow to their war production capacity. It attacks a fundamental part of their military-industrial complex. It shows Ukraine really understands Russia's vulnerabilities.
And Metafrax wasn't the only target hit deep inside Russia, was it?
No, not at all. Ukrainian drones also hit the Novoyufimsky oil refinery. That's in Ufa, nearly 870 miles from the front.
Another long-range hit.
And they also reportedly set fire to the Kirishi refinery in the Leningrad region. That's one of Russia's biggest oil refineries, huge capacity, 21 million tons a year.
Wow. So definitely significant economic targets as well as military ones.
Precisely. The broader strategy here, laid out in the source, seems clear. Kyiv is trying to systematically degrade Russia's oil refining capability.
And is it working?
Well, the source suggests it is having an effect. It mentions reports of fuel shortages and price hikes starting to pop up in several Russian regions.
Interesting. So it's not just about hurting their military fuel supply.
No, it's also about inflicting economic pain, maybe stirring internal discontent, and forcing Moscow to spend resources defending and repairing infrastructure far from the actual fighting, stretching them thin.
So for you listening, what this really highlights is Ukraine's growing ability to project power way beyond the front lines. It's a sophisticated countermove, hitting Russia's war machine and economy right where it hurts. It changes the game, doesn't it? From just a frontline battle to a strategic contest of logistics and industry.
It really does.
Okay, but there's another layer to this whole picture, maybe even more destabilizing. Reports of internal turmoil inside Russia.
Right. The pressure isn't just external.
Our source mentions a couple of specific incidents. There was a railway bomb blast in the Oriol region, killed 2 National Guard members, tragically, but also caused significant train delays. That's key for logistics.
Very key.
And then another big explosion in Kalinivka, over in the Kyiv region, actually. But it was reportedly during the rail transport of ammunition. Again, massive train disruption. Some reports speculated a Russian missile hit, but that wasn't officially confirmed.
Right. The cause remains a bit murky on that one.
And this is alongside other reports, like Russian ballistic missiles hitting Dnipro. It paints a picture of, well, chaos on multiple fronts.
Yeah, and what's insightful here is seeing these internal incidents alongside the external stuff, the NATO probing, Ukraine's deep strikes. It looks like pressure from multiple directions.
How so?
Well, these railway disruptions, whether it's sabotage or maybe just accidents under the strain of war, directly impact Russia's ability to get supplies to its troops, creates bottlenecks, makes them divert resources for repairs,
Right.
and the National Guard casualties. That points to a security system already feeling the pressure. It potentially hits morale, readiness. So it's not just about the battlefield anymore. The conflict is hitting Russia's internal stability, its logistics, within its own borders.
They're fighting on more than one front, essentially.
Including within their own territory, yeah.
And President Zelensky of Ukraine, he's been very vocal about all this, hasn't he?
Extremely. He didn't just condemn the Russian drone incursions into NATO space or the ongoing aggression. He used these incidents to push Washington specifically for tougher measures, to dismantle Moscow's war machine, as he put it.
He's not holding back on the implications.
Not at all. We have a direct quote from him in our source. He said, "Everyone sees that Russia's war against Ukraine is Putin's war. Everyone sees that the Russian drones attacking Poland are also Putin's war. And this is a warning not only to Poland, but to all of Europe."
Strong words.
Very. And he explicitly stated these aren't just coincidences or mistakes. He called them an obvious expansion of the war by Russia.
An expansion.
Yeah, that's a stark assessment. He's basically saying Moscow is deliberately pushing the boundaries, not just reacting. It's an appeal for NATO to see these as part of a bigger escalating strategy from the Kremlin.
Okay, so as we sort of wrap up this deep dive, let's try and summarize the core message we've pulled from the sources. We've seen this rapid, pretty alarming series of escalating actions, tit for tat almost. On one side, you have Russia pushing against NATO airspace, that really unsettling nuclear signaling with the Iskanders in Kaliningrad. And on the other side, Ukraine hitting back harder and deeper than before, targeting critical Russian industry and energy. Plus this undercurrent of internal disruption within Russia itself.
And if you put all that together, connecting the dots like we aim to, the conclusion from the source material seems unavoidable. These events unequivocally signal a dangerous and apparently deliberate widening of the war. It's expanding geographically and strategically. New actors are involved. New types of confrontation are
The
emerging.
stakes are clearly getting higher.
Much higher, pushing both sides towards increasingly provocative moves.
So for you, the listener, here's that final thought to maybe mull over. It builds directly on what our source material concludes. The articles describe this current situation as a critical moment for NATO and Europe.
Oh, critical moment.
So given everything we've discussed, the airspace challenges, the nuclear undertones, Ukraine's deep strikes, the internal Russian issues, what does NATO's response actually mean for the future? What does the West's collective ability to deter further Kremlin provocations mean for Europe's stability and security?
That's the crucial question, isn't it?
Are we heading towards an era of deeper, maybe more direct confrontation? And if we are, how could those ripple effects impact the wider world far beyond Ukraine and Russia? The answers to those questions, well, they might shape the next few months and maybe even the next few years.
Okay, one question for you. Should NATO respond more aggressively to Russia's drone entering Romanian airspace? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.